Well, hello YouTube, hopefully. Have no idea what I'm doing, but hopefully I'm streaming to YouTube right now, and hopefully you can hear me and it's not too loud. And we'll see what happens for a few minutes, see if anybody pops in and tells me what's going on. So forgive me for the long pauses at this point. I think once I get rolling and I know that this thing works, I'll just jump in and start talking, you know, and not do the pregnant pause thing. Oh, there's someone here that said good evening. Haha! It's working. Golly. Well, that's exciting. Right, so I can see chat. There's people here. So, what should we talk about today? I've called it a chatterbox. I've got no plan. I said I'd go live. I said I'd give it a try. So here I am giving it a try. Hello Germany, hello Phil, hello Martin. Thank you for coming. I've got coffee. Hopefully you do too. And Hotel Papa 100. Good day to you, sir. And how are we all? It's been a beautiful sunny day here in the UK. I don't know how warm, but I think I might be a bit sunburned because I decided it'd be a good idea to go and polish my car outside. And it's one of those jobs that once you start you can't really stop. So I started to feel quite hot, you know, but I kept going, and now I feel a bit like I might have got a bit of sun blush on the old cheeks. So I think what I'm going to do while I this is the Airfix and the screens. I'm going to make so many mistakes. Hello one POB, one POB, yes, solo flyer. I might mess about with a different model. This is actually ready to paint, so I might put this over here. And I might actually just fiddle about with something else altogether. So I've got three here to look at. So let me know, those of you that are watching, out of these three, what shall I get started on? So firstly there's the Airfix Starter Typhoon. Secondly, there's this is a Suyata Armoured Almond. It's back to front. I'm sorry about that. I flipped the footage so my hands are coming from the bottom, but now it's back to front. Oh well, can't have everything right. Armoured Almond, or a US Navy Tomcat fighter by Tiger Models. We can have a little miniature review and have a little look and a mess about on one of those. Let me know. Lovely and sunny in Aberdeenshire. Well, you know, make the most of that, because you might get 4 more of those this year, right? Apparently there's a little bit of echo on my audio. That could be because hold on, I know what I can do. I have actually got, yeah, that might be a bit better. Let me know. I do deserve this coffee. I don't know if anybody's got a car with plastic headlights. Whoever thought it was a good idea to make car headlights out of plastic, I think we should sack them immediately, because they do that thing over time where they kind of craze and go yellow in the sun, some worse than others. And I recently bought a toy car to play with. It's not a sensible car, but it's got a touch of the sadness on the headlamps. So I decided to go out there and you know, have a fiddle with it. And a couple of hours later, they look a lot better. But all right then, Tomcat it is. This is. My brain does not work in reverse. There we go. Look at that. Love that box art. This is a Tiger Models US Navy F-14A Tomcat fighter. It says so. See? If you can read backwards. Apply a mirror to all the writing. I called it the Tomcat because, you know, why not? I got this from Ammo of Mig, the online shop. So it's come all the way from Spain, from China via Spain. They're not the cheapest for silly toon kits. They're relatively expensive. I think I got it in the sale. They had a sale recently, and I only paid, I don't know, 13 or 14 quid for it, which I'm absolutely happy to pay that much for a silly little model. I think the retail price is more like 22, which is pushing it a little bit, isn't it, for, you know, a toy. I know they're all, you could argue that they're all toys, but shall we? Let's have a look. I once built a Freddy Flameout cartoon model. Looks similar. That sounds good. I like Freddy Flameout. It's a nice name. So we open the box and we've got Hello Hate.exe. It's Adventure Ed listening on the M4. Hello Adventure Ed. How the devil are you? Taking the kids back, I presume. This is what you get inside. One bag. Adventure Ed's so happy to be listening on the M4. He's posted the comment twice. Public safety messages about putting messages into frameless driving ensue. We've got 2 sprues. Kind of looks a bit like a Gundam actually, doesn't it? 2 sprues of pieces with really fine, I don't, how good is the video quality actually? Is it okay? So that you can see the surface detail. I'll hold it still to give everything time to focus. But that's actually really quite nice surface detail. A lot of these toon kits have got sort of very corgi-ish surface. Oh wow, look at the dashboards. Goodness gracious me. Those are properly nice. That's one sprue, and this is the other. Have I got pilots in this? There must be some pilots, surely. Oh damn. There are no crew. There are no pilots, so it has to be a semi-serious toon model. Right, without further ado, I'm going to start making it. It is, isn't it? It's not bad at all. Here's the painting info. The good old skull and crossboners. I made that up. Good evening, Phil. And here's the destructions. So I'll put those up on my laptop where you can't see them but I can. And I'll start making. Nip. Right, let's start with the office. The C119, that's Freedom Models, right? Yeah, I saw that the other day. I like the Freedom Models stuff. They've got quite a nice range. We're talking in the club actually about maybe doing an F104 Freedom Models F104 toon build along, because all of our MIGs are near enough done now. And Hannants currently have the F104 available for £10 or so, and you actually get 2 in the box. Which I think seems pretty reasonable. Dashboards. I'll warn you now, the biggest limiting factor on these live broadcasts is the battery life on my video camera, which I can honestly say the battery life is absolutely pants. It comes with quite a small battery which does not last very long, so I bought a couple of bigger batteries, and after being used 4 times, they're almost equally as bad. So if I suddenly go off air without warning, I will humbly apologise profusely, but that's probably why. Okay, so I'll just I can't really monitor the battery life, to be honest. It doesn't come up on the camera screen unless I'm actually videoing, and the camera isn't doing the video. It is, but it's not recording it, so I don't even know if this broadcast will remain visible once we're finished. That's how much of a professional I am. This is a complete experiment. I never said I was a professional YouTuber, okay? I'm a lot better at my real job than I am at this, I promise. What's everyone else working on then? Anything good? Any bargains you want to tell the other viewers about? In your local shops or online or... Okay, so Phil says he's glad to be a guinea pig, so at this point, Phil, I'd like you to do your best impression of a guinea pig. Squeaking. Everybody to have a listen to. I don't even know if I'm working on camera or not, am I? So for some reason the streaming software has decided to focus on the area which is right at the edge of my building map. I've also got a snack. I have here the remains of a peanut cookie that I bought around about lunchtime when I went for my walk. Look at this. It's such a big cookie that I couldn't eat it all, so I saved it, and it now seems like as good a time as any. A bit of sustenance after my exertions in the sun. Phil has just started the F-Fix Chinook. How is that going? I have not actually seen that yet in the plastic flesh. I have seen a few unfavourable comments about it, but I've not seen it for myself. Well, there we go, lads. We've got 3 miracles in one day. I've managed to make the live work. It's sunny in Aberdeenshire, and apparently it's also sunny in Ayrshire. Scotland is having all the luck. And good evening, Gordon. How are you? Martin Dianowski is working on the Border Models Hummel. Ah, nice. Border models seem to do some good stuff on the armour front. A friend in the club has just bought the on 16th scale half track, which looks really nice and looks like a very good sort of entry level 16th scale kit. You know, if you want to go bigger. 70 quid I think it was. We got two fills confusingly. So Phil, who's only Phil, has got the new Airfix Jaguar to start. I bet quite a few of you have the new Airfix Jaguar shouting at you from the side of the desk, don't you? I've got a couple over there, but I'm not getting on with them yet. They're going to be built for my very demanding customer, who likes to have a lot of aftermarket stuff added to the builds, so I kind of need to wait for the aftermarket to catch up a little bit. But I do think, to be fair, that kit looks like it could be built up to look really, really nice without any aftermarket. Looks that way. The Canadians are here. Everybody hide. Good evening, George, or actually good morning. Is it still over there? I don't know which end of Canada you're in, so not sure how far back you are compared to me. It is was it 5 o'clock here? 7 o'clock here. I've lost 2 hours of my day somehow. So the border model thumbnail is fiddly in places. Is it one of those that's got so many bits? So many bits. Carlos Fandango is about to start a Hobby Boss 148th A10 with a ton of extra parts. The wife bought it for me from eBay. Well, good for her. She's a keeper. Excellent stuff. Clifford, starting my Mozzie tutorial. Did I go beyond episode 8? I did indeed. I believe I'm correct in saying that went through until episode 10, but I think episode 10 might have just been called Finale or something along those lines. 2 PM. Okay everyone, it's 2 PM in Canada, or at least it is in the bit where George is. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming by. Do you plan your builds? I've started 2 kits already this year and both have hit brick walls. Separate brick walls or the same brick wall? I do, yes, I do plan my builds. However, it's a plan which is made from chocolate. So it's a very flexible, very easily melted plan. Because, you know, motivation can fade instantaneously, can't it? Well, good afternoon, Nick Brown. How the devil are you? Feeling better after your little trip out the other day, I hope. Yeah, motivational walls can be very difficult, right? It's really difficult to offer sensible advice from here because it depends on the nature of the wall, you know, why you're struggling, what's happened, what hasn't happened. Is it general motivation? Is it kit induced lack of motivation? You know, it's a tricky one, and I can relate. So I'll go fetch it in a second if you'll excuse the dead air time while I do it, but I've just finished. In fact, I'll go get them. Bear with me. Speak amongst yourselves for approximately 48 seconds. I'll go get some MIGs. Alright, behave, I'm back. A MiG-21. So, this is, excuse me, the Edward 170 second scale MiG-21, which I built inside a week or so, a week or two. There's an emergency outside. I'm sorry about the noise. Very, very quick build. A very, very nice build and a really lovely kit. Really enjoyed it, and me building this inspired my club mates to have a MiG off. Okay, so we all went and got another MiG kit, or a MiG kit in their case, and I built a second one, and I went up a size and I built the 48th one, which is here. I can't fit it under the camera because of the weird zoomingness, but here you go, you get the idea. And I wanted to do the Cuba because why wouldn't you? I mean, look at it. And it was going stunningly well. This is not as nice a kit as the 72nd one in my opinion. It's not as finely crisply, it's not as crisp, it's just not quite as nice, doesn't fit together quite as well. But it's nice enough, you know, it wasn't expensive. So it was all going swimmingly. I was fairly happy with the paint. I mixed my own colours for it. Here's the belly, and it was all going fine. And then I started doing the decals, and some may have seen my Instagram post to wit the main markings. If you look at that wing roundel, it's just awful. The decals are terrible, and I know a lot of people, to be fair, have complained loudly about Edward decals of late, and I've been one of the few people who's consistently said I actually think they're okay. You know, peel the film, don't peel the film, that really isn't the pivotal part. But the complaints have mostly been about these washed out nasty colours and blotchiness, and here we go, this one, look at that wing roundel, it almost looks out of register. You can see white around the edge of the blue. You can see how blotchy, how pale. It's just, it's rubbish, honestly. And it really took the wind out of my building sails. It kind of ruined the whole effect, and I felt like I need to mask and spray and touch these things up. I never did. I decided to give it a jolly good ignoring. And then I thought I need to get it finished because I'm off on holiday next week, and the model needs to be done so I can drop it off to Matt to go up to the FX Model World show in a couple of weeks for the MiG display for the Bryce Norton Club. So I re-embarked on the build, started putting stencils on, and look again at the stencils. It's meant to be red and it's just got this flipping white shadow around it. It's kind of ruined the whole model for me. So yeah, motivational brick walls can be a real issue, but it very much depends on why they're there, doesn't it? Anyway, put these somewhere out of the way. Don't have much space around me. It's okay, it's an okay model, don't get me wrong, I'm not terribly unhappy with it, but the decals absolutely detract from the finish for me, big time. Alright, back to chat. See, I do plan them, but they are plans made of marshmallow. I'm not afraid to change the plans or you know, whatever. Nick Brown is now many. Oh, are you multiplying? Are Trump's tariffs going to affect kit prices in the UK and Europe? I honestly don't know. I don't think the UK and Europe import all that many kits from the US really. Most of our kits come from Europe and the Far East, and I don't believe that the Far East or Europe are imposing sweeping tariffs upon us. It's just the US that are playing that particular game at the moment. I'm sure that they would in a big way if he did, and I think the knock-on effect for us might be that they'll go up anyway, because kit manufacturers will be able to put the prices up for one, but also because if companies start selling less to or in America because the prices will have to go up by so much, then that will have a knock-on effect everywhere else, because the costs need to be covered regardless, right? But hey, I'm not an economist. We're absolutely sure it will affect kit prices over there though, big time. There, seats fitted. This is an absurdly detailed cockpit for a 2 model, isn't it? Well, I didn't think I was going to have to start painting on the stream. Alright, my battery's officially at half mast right now. How long have I been going? I don't know. It probably tells me on here somewhere. No, it actually doesn't. So I'm just sticking some little dots of blue tack onto this coffee stirrer that I definitely didn't half-inch from a coffee shop at any point. So as it to make it easier to paint them black. Put that to one side, and I'll build some of the other bits because I don't want to get involved with spraying on streams. I think the sound will be horrid. George has lost the windscreen from his Mustang. How to copy or replace it? That's a tricky one. I think the most obvious way would be to try and find one of the old Falcon vac form sets and just modify one out of there, and or any old cheapo Mustang, and hope for the best. Yes, these are God hand nippers. These are the expensive but not the most expensive God hands. I think these were circa 35 English pounds, so roughly equivalent to the Tamiya nippers. They're very nice, they're quite sturdy feeling, more so than the Tamiya nippers, and so far they're proving to be sturdy, and they've got a nice, they're very, very nice. No complaints. No complaints. Okay. Well, from Montana is late. Yes, you are, Mark. But I didn't publish a start time, so I'm not going to berate you. I'm messing around with a Tiger Hobbies, Tiger Models Tomcat just messing. It's just something to do whilst I chat. Did I finish the SR71? Not so far, but I do have a plan when I get around to it. That was being built as it was a commission build, but the customer changed their mind partway through, which is highly inconvenient because it's a very expensive kit that I would not have bought were it not being built for someone. But these things happen. But I have decided that what I'm going to do, because I built it wheels up, I'm going to finish it and I'm going to put it in the picture frame, because it's so big. I mean, it's absolutely massive, isn't it? You'd need the world's biggest display cabinet to house it. So I'm going to mount it inside a deep picture frame and just hang it on the wall, which I think will actually look really cool. And yeah, I can imagine it did take 6 months because it's a bit of a beast, isn't it? Yeah, Declan Walsh did go for that. The Vulcan vacuform canopy sets, if you can find them, they're pretty decent value for money. You get a whole load, usually a dozen or so, different canopies for various subjects, and they're very, very good. So the chances are you would be able to use some of the spare ones in other builds, you know. The Spitfire Special is a good one. Who else is here? Phil says coffee shops exist to supply us with steering sticks. That's very true. I think it's rather foolish of them to assume that we only go in there for coffee. David Hansen is messing with a Starfighter as well. Tired of listening to the MSNBC outrage. Well, I don't think that's going away anytime soon, do you? We can't allow ourselves to talk about things like that though. I think the bigger question is why you're all sat watching me messing about with a toy plane on a Friday night. We're all so terribly dull, aren't we? Is the Friday night stream going to become a regular? I hope so. It seems to be going okay. I do like to interact a bit more directly. I would like to make it a thing. Now that I've got the camera and the software to work at the same time as each other, I mean, it only took me about 40 minutes to set it up, but now I know how to do it. Well, I say I know how to, I made it work. Okay, that's a start. So yes, I'm going to say yes. I think Friday, early UK time evening, is probably about the best time for me, potentially maybe on Thursdays. But Thursday or Friday, early UK evening, which it does unfortunately put me a little bit early for the US crowd. But hopefully the videos will stay up and you'll be able to catch up on them anyhow after the live, but I don't know that either at the minute. We'll have to see what happens when this switches off, which on that point I'm down to 1 bar, so I am going to start wrapping it up. Hello Jim, how are you? It's very sunny here. Hopefully you're getting some sunshine too. Mr. J did put his SR71 on the wall too. Yes, I think that's really about the only option. Mark from Montana has run out of display space. Yes, same. What I'm doing to enable display space is I'm going through all the built models, and essentially I will be disposing of a lot of the older ones. Some of them will be disposed into the B1N. Some of them are going potentially to a friend, and I might put some up for sale on eBay or something. Just move some older stuff out, get some new stuff in, basically. I don't get out that much either, Gordon. I'm boring and skint. More nippers. These are the Display nippers from the Departure set. They're lovely. I tend to use the god hands just to roughly hack the parts off the sprues, and then I use these super nips to clean the parts up a bit more. I mean, they even sound good, don't they? Well, hopefully you can save the decals, Declan. If not, I think the F104 is well served for aftermarket decals. So put them in the window to get rid of the yellowing, and then maybe use some liquid decal film or a bit of clear coat over them before you try and use them. They might be okay. I've built a 1,000,000-year-old Matchbox kits, and the decals have been fine. You're right, Gordon, display tools are very expensive, but that's actually the actual reason I bought the Departure tool set. So a friend of mine, Andy Long, the Defiant expert, messaged me and said, I just got this, and sent me a picture of his toolkit that had just arrived, and said this was £35. I think it's astonishing. You should get one for the channel. And I did. I googled it there and then and ordered one there and then. There is a review on the channel if you look it up, if you haven't seen it. In fact, there are two, because I made a terrible mistake within it. The whole kit was £35. So the entire Departure tool set, which is this, it's got loads of stuff in it, was £35, which is what these nippers cost alone. And these nippers, if I had paid £35 for these, I would not have felt like I'd been ripped off. Genuinely, they're very, very good. So the Departure tool set is an absolute no-brainer if you can get hold of them. If they haven't gone up in price magically, because they did sell out after my review. I should get a flipping commission, shouldn't I? But I don't. The Little Things Junkie says, it's a strange experience sitting here doing my own modelling, listening to someone else doing theirs. I find it strangely comforting. I enjoy going to the model club. Basically going around Matt's house, my friend, and we'll sit at two separate desks and just be modelling away, maybe chatting a little bit. It's nice. I like it. I like it. So hopefully this can be a similar experience for you, although a little more remote. This cookie is very good. Yeah, I think just by worth the price. Do I snip my parts off the sprue and then paint them, or paint them on the sprue? Depends. Mostly I take them off and attach them to something like this, because then I don't have to worry about doing little touch-ups on edges. So it depends what it is, but tiny small parts, like there's a good example right here. Look at this. This is the petrol filler spout from the Airfix Lysander kit. Note that it is still affixed to the sprue, but I've cut the sprue into a handy little handle, and that will get painted in situ, because where it's attached to the sprue is the part where it is in the position where it actually mounts to the model, so the lack of paint there won't matter. In fact, it'll be an advantage. But I would say 9 out of 10 times I take the parts off and fit them to a not stolen coffee shop wooden stirrer stick. Okay. Mark from Montana had a major fail with Revell landing gear. Yep, check out the departure tools, totally worth it. Oh, that's a shame, Declan. But as I say, I can't imagine F104 decals are difficult to come by. I've not yet built an F104. Ouch. This is some very hard plastic. The tip of that intake just went straight into my thumb. There we go. Oh, that reminds me, wasn't it Mark that messaged me about a Bristol Fighter on the comments bit? That's a super nice offer off you, Mark. I'm flattered, but I don't need you to be sending me kits, especially not very expensive ones like that. But thank you very much for the offer, much appreciated. I spent quite a long time early last year with a real Bristol Fighter, Bristol F2B, up at the Shuttleworth collection, which unfortunately for all of you Americans and anyone who's not in the UK, if you ever come to the UK, make it, especially if you're interested in old vintage aeroplanes, you have to make it a priority to go visit the Shuttleworth. It's just wonderful. And I went and met my friend Amanda, who's a Tiger Moth pilot, up there for their engineering day, the engineering days where they have the engineering hangar open, and you can walk round and really get close, very close to the aircraft that are undergoing winter maintenance. So when we went, the Gladiator was up on sticks with all the panels off, being worked on, and you could literally stick your head in through the open panels and have a look inside and see what was going on in there, and you know, smell the oil that was dripping out of it. So it was a really good day, and the guys that do the work were all there on hand, and you could sit and, you know, you could chat with them about what they were doing and how they go about doing the maintenance. It's really good. But yeah, Shuttleworth collection is worth its weight in gold. I agree, that is a win-win, but it would cost you as much as the kit is worth just to get it over here, and I can't let you do that, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going, oh, I bet that was horribly loud, sorry. I'm going to have to go. I'm down to 3 minutes on my battery. As I said, the deciding factor with how long I can make a live stream is how long my video camera battery will last, and this was a fresh one and it is gone. So thank you so much for coming and taking part. Hopefully this wasn't a complete disaster or absolutely boring. I've enjoyed the little chats. It's coffee, Jim. I was outside in the sun working on my car, my toy car, and I got hot and bothered and tired, so I made myself a coffee. I wouldn't normally have one this late, but I felt like I deserved it. But yeah, thank you for popping along. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It was lovely chatting with you. I will not be on this time next week. I'm going on holiday for 2 weeks. Next week I'm leaving. I'm going away, so it'll be a couple of weeks, but yeah, I'm going to try and start doing this every Friday. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a lovely weekend. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.